Hey, Creative Mom Kamela here from Creative Mom's Decant. So today I'm going to show you how to use Infusible Ink, the Cricut Mug Press, and make yourself an amazing mug starting in Design Space. Let's go!
That floats around me, keeping me safe and sound.
Alright, so we've opened up Cricut Design Space, and what we're going to do is we're going to go to Projects, and we're going to type Mug Design Template. And you're going to see some things pop up, and what you're looking for is this one. So it's teal mugs, and it's 4 of them. So it's Mug Design Setup. And the reason I like this one is because you have lots of options. So if you look at the select here, you have all kinds of options on what you're going to do. So I am doing a 12-ounce mug today, and I am going to choose the rippled, so 12-ounce rippled mug design. So just a little bit of tear here on the edge is what I'm going for, but you can choose scallops, you can choose straight, you can choose, there's lots of fun options for any size mug. And then choose customize. And once this loads, you've got a couple things to work with. And what I like to do is to grab the teal colored shape, click copy, and click paste. And just throw this off to the side. You'll see when I work in Design Space a lot, I throw a template over there. That's all I'm doing. And then I'm going to go to this, and I'm going to work inside, whoops, undo. I'm going to work inside this template. So I'm going to drop it out of the way. I'm using my arrow keys. When you have trouble grabbing layers, use your arrow keys. And we want to grab some flowers. So I'm going to go to images. You can do any image that you want. And I am going to look for some that are going to cut out nicely.
So I grabbed a bunch here and then decided I liked this one, but it was grouped together. So I am just using my shape and slice method. So you weld them together and then use a shape and you select them both and you slice.
All right, so that wasn't very difficult at all. You'll notice I left this one. I don't know that I want to weed that out of Infusible Ink, which, truth be told, is why the Infusible Ink is what I call gateway something. If I say those words, I get flagged. But Infusible Ink will make you want a sublimation printer, and there's no doubt in my mind. So just know that when you start using it. So now I'm just going to arrange these on here. My mom used to always, and still really says, threes. And she's an art teacher and has an art education, so I kind of go with her. So I'm going to try to arrange things in threes, and I may even work with these blossoms. Whoops. Sometimes I get click crazy. And see if I can hook them together in a way that works.
So just use your twist tools and move your items around until you like it.
All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to select all the flowers I've been working on, and I'm going to weld them together. And then they did not weld together, did they? Let's try that again. So I do want to make sure those stems are aligned at the bottom. So I'm going to align bottom. Remember I said don't forget aligning. I've said that 100 times. Don't forget to align things. Now let's weld. And then if we pull those stems to the very bottom of the template, and select both of these layers and slice. Let's see where we're at here. See, I think that's going to look really cool. So at this point you can add some words in here if you'd like, and I'm going to clean up my canvas. Alright, so I just added some letters in here and a font that I liked, and I'm going to go ahead and weld these together and check that none of my holes filled in or anything crazy, and it didn't. I like this DC, I think this is the Cottage, but this is a DTC font, and it is with Access with Cricut Design Space. And so I'm just going to go ahead and place it on here. I like to weld things or place things close, and if they're going to hook, like if I was going to hook this and I haven't decided, then I would go ahead and weld it. I also like to place things on either half. Some people like to do words all the way through. And it might work for this design really, but I don't typically like that. I like things on one side or the other normally, but I actually do like it this time. I think when you roll the mug around, the worthy will be really pretty, and when you're looking at one side or the other, it will just look like viney white like the rest of it. So let's go ahead and select both of these and slice. Alright, and this is our scraps. And now we need to get rid of the ink lines. We don't need those anymore. And we want to center this up. So the last thing we have to do is select everything and choose Attach. Hit to make it. An infusible ink would be for any material. You could cut this on any of your Cricut cutting machines. Choose Mirror and continue. I am going to cut this on my Explorer today. Browse all materials, infusible ink. And lovely Cricut Design Space gives us a warning if we remember to read it. Make sure we're on Mirror and you place this ink side up. Let's get this cut. So I have placed my Cricut Infusible ink side up, down on my mat. The Explorer 3 is really touchy to load.
You just really don't help it at all. So I'm going to go ahead and get this infusible ink cut, and then I'll show you some tricks on how to weed it. Hey, don't forget to clean your blade before you start. That always helps clean everything. I've shown it a couple times, but just take that blade out and don't forget to clean it. So this should be getting really close here. I did move the speed up just a little bit so that my videos don't get too long. Feel free to leave suggestions in the comments. And we appreciate likes and subscribes as we're a new channel just doing it ourselves.
But sometimes it's ornery. Infusible ink has its moments. I mean, there's reasons that we move to sublimation printers. Kristina and I just talked about infusible ink this morning. Alright, so now you just have to get rid of your scraps. And the easiest way to do that with infusible ink is to crack it, is what they kind of say. And so basically it's just rolling it and then pulling out the scraps. So I'm going to start here with my welded word and just carefully pull it out because that's what's going to be white. I went ahead and grabbed out my weeding tools. However, typically with infusible ink, I don't use them. Y'all, I say it all the time that this is going to make you want a sublimation printer, but really that was completely painless for somebody who hates weeding even. I hate weeding. I like despise weeding. That was painless. So if an affordable way, your cutting machine and a mug press. Let me show you how I get this on the mug and we'll check out our finished result. I'm so excited. Okay, so pro tip, do not take these out of the packaging. Don't do it. Not until you're ready to use it. I'm going to go ahead and preheat my, maybe if I have it plugged in, there it goes, my mug press. So it will be red, and now I turned it off. It will be red, it will turn green when it's all heated up. So now, when you're ready to press, is when you open up your packaging. And even with doing that, you still spray it with rubbing alcohol. So I'm going to spray it down over here, like completely wet with alcohol. Don't skimp on this step, you will regret it, I promise you. And the reason I can say that is because I've skipped, so I know. And now you're going to want to let this dry completely without touching. So the biggest part right now is I am only going to handle the handle. See what I did there? I didn't even know I did it, but I did it. Handle the handle only. Don't forget that. And I'm going to let it dry a second. All right, so while that's drying, I want to take a look and make sure that I did not miss any pieces on here that I want to be out. You know, no I's missing, no O's missing the center, you know, those kind of things. All right, and then make sure that you didn't get anything on this. So I see a little speck of, surprise, that's glitter. You see that, you guys? I have been doing tumblers, but that glitter will leave a white spot in ink in your design. So you don't want that. I mean, unless you want that. You don't want that. So a little tip here is you can take a lint brush and carefully go over it and make sure that this has nothing on it that you don't want. If you have tiny eye dots and things like that, just make sure that your lint brush didn't steal that from you, okay? And then set that aside and don't breathe. I'm not even going to breathe over there. All right, you have two choices for the last step of cleaning your mug. The first choice is good old masking tape. Just rip off a bunch of it and you can wrap it around your hand, or you can wrap it on the mug and pull it off, and wrap it on the mug and pull it off. Okay, so you get the point of the masking tape. It's on and off and don't touch. I prefer a lint brush. So the lint brush I can take up and down, and I go a couple times around, and I'm really careful to not touch, and I take it all the way. I don't want anything on this mug because it will leave a white or sometimes even a black dot, and we probably don't want that, do we? All right, clean mug. So now I'm going to take my design, handling it on the Infusible Ink transfer tape. And the easiest way I find to do this is to line up my mug. Let me move it this way a little bit to show you. But to line up my mug with my mat. So I know that that looks... No, you can actually... Okay, so look at the handle and see how that is lining up over that line. So that's what I do. And then, you know how I mark my centers. I go this way and I give myself a mark. So I am going to do it. I'm just going to give myself a little mark to go with. And that mark needs to line up on my center line this way. I have to move it down here, friends, because I can't see up there. And it's important. Okay, so I'm going to line my design up on the bottom of the mug. These templates work out great. And another pro tip, when you decide that yes, you love sublimation because it's amazing, and you buy a printer, use these templates. Okay, so line it all up. And I am really checking everything to be lined up. and then double checking because I am horrible at lining up. I will say the nice thing about these is they line up nice themselves with the infusible ink and how they roll. So then you want to press down all that sticky transfer tape everywhere that you have design, especially. So you're going to use your thumb is what I do, and I push it down until it's sealed completely on there, and I'm checking my top and my bottom as well. So sealed on there. And then I like to grab a little bit of tape and tape it down. So I again use masking tape for this. It does sometimes get sticky when you use it and you'll have to wash that off. So you could use your heat transfer tape as well. And so that I don't have sticky today, I'm going to use my heat transfer tape, which had disappeared. I'm pretty organized, but I've been trying to reorganize, and that's kind of made me unorganized. Does that make any sense? Let me know in the comments if I'm the only one. So a couple pieces of heat tape where your design or along the edges to really hold it down is a great idea. There are people that go all along the edges with the heat tape, and I am definitely never going to tell you that it's a bad idea. I say all the time, you went to all this work, get the design on the mug. Don't waste by being frugal with tape. So definitely get it taped down. So our mug press is all heated and ready. I'm going to grab a couple more pieces of heat tape at the bottom, and then we're going to start it, and it does its own time. So we will be able to watch the lights go up.
So you're just going to drop this in and push the handle down and then push the start button and let it do its thing. It does its own count and it should beep for us. I do wrap it in butcher paper like you see here. That's just what makes it easy for me. You can use the paper that comes in the infusible ink package, but you could use butcher paper like I did. Either way is perfect.
All right, so the timer beeped. I'm going to tell you, use the hot pads. I love these. These are super fun. You want to lift this lid, and then I just pull out my butcher paper and lift my mug straight out. And I'm going to go ahead and turn that off. I recommend you turn them off. You could do 2 mugs and then turn it off and let it cool down, and then you could do 2 more mugs. But that's just my recommendation. It's not meant to be a commercial device. So it's at home, and they're going to go lower. They're coming out with new heat presses. These are going to be the item to grab, and they're super fun. So let's open up this infusible ink. And you probably shouldn't do this hot either. I probably should say that. But I couldn't help myself. So here we go. Oh my gosh. Isn't that beautiful? Beautiful. The colors are so beautiful. I love it. It is super simple to make a mug with the Cricut Mug Press and Design Space. I can't wait to see yours. I hope you'll share them in our Creative Moms Decant Facebook group. Give us a like and a subscribe if you want to see more videos. Have a joyful day.